BASF is a world-leading chemical company with more than 150 years of history. So we have a very, very broad portfolio from agricultural products, construction chemicals, and then coatings. We have products for home personal care. We have products for health and nutrition. We have biodegradable plastics. We do supply many raw materials to the automotive industry. So we are in fact basically present with our chemicals in all industries. We do have a production of construction chemicals. Yeah, it's a local blending facility to manufacture local products for local demand in Kenya. We still have approximately 40 to 50% of the agricultural produce being lost due to improper post-harvest management. Yeah, and we are now looking with partners to build, to establish the production of insulation panels, which are the core for building then cold storage facilities in Kenya. 6 weeks ago, signed an MOU with the government of Nyandarua County and an investor from Europe to set up an agri-hub or agricultural hub in Nyandarua County. The target is that we build up a self-sufficient agricultural hub for storing, but then also processing agricultural products. And the first step will be investment into a cold storage facility for potatoes, and then followed by potato processing. Nairobi is not only our headquarters for East Africa, but it's also the headquarters for entire Africa. Because we said before that we had our headquarters based in Johannesburg, but that at that time we had Northwest Africa being managed out of Turkey. And then in 2016 we decided to basically manage Africa as a whole, as one continent. We see a lot of similarities between the different markets, and then we said it is wise to move the headquarters to Nairobi, also to be more central for entire Africa. We have roughly a bit more than 50 employees in BASF here in East Africa. We are very interested in developing and training people. We have last year launched a trainee program. So the trainee program basically is a program to bridge basically or help graduates to have first industrial experience, with the target then to offer at least some of them a permanent position in our company. But also for the ones who might then go elsewhere, it's a very great opportunity to get acquainted with working with a multinational company. We are interested in developing demand in our chemicals, and we need to drive industrialization and local manufacturing in Kenya and in East Africa. Yeah, this industrialization will lead to a higher demand also of our chemicals. So before we now discuss investments into chemical plants, we are basically one step ahead, where we support our customers to invest into local manufacturing, which will then create a demand for our chemical technologies. And one example which I gave to you is that we have partnered with a company, Essential Drugs, who are investing into animal feed products, and we do supply them our vitamins and other raw materials which they then blend for final goods for the market. We want to contribute as a company as a whole into sustainable development. And to that extent that we have even incorporated it into our corporate purpose. We create chemistry for a sustainable future. And we have just released end of last year our new corporate strategy, and it's the first time that a chemical company globally has incorporated sustainability targets into its strategic targets. So with the same relevance as our financial targets, we have now sustainability targets in our strategy. So that's maybe just to give you a bit the bigger picture. For us, it is absolutely relevant, and we have committed that despite the fact that we are targeting significant volume growth over the next years, we will say all additional growth of BASF globally will come CO2 neutral. Kenya Bureau of Standards has accepted the standards, the ISO standards, which are basically accepting or defining the biodegradable polymers or the standards for biodegradable polymers. We are fully complying with these standards. So basically, we are now together with our customers, let's say, developing first products to be then approved for the markets. But we would appreciate if this would be also supported by basically expansion of the plastic ban for polyethylene. We believe that there is huge opportunities for Kenya in local manufacturing, which are currently missed, as in many instances ready-made products are being imported. And I think I see that there are now some efforts by the government to look into and establish value chains. We are seeing this now in the textile industry, which is where there are attempts to re-establish the textile industry. I would suggest that we have really a value chain analysis across different industries and evaluate where we see opportunities for local manufacturing. We still see very often that finished goods enjoy more favorable duties or duty regulations than the raw materials. But the country needs to understand that they don't need to optimize the income from duty, they need to optimize local value generation, because that is how the country will benefit most. And that's also what we are advocating, that we are looking, that you need to look into the individual value chains per industry and look, these raw materials needs to be exempted from any duties because they will help local manufacturers to build up a competitive position. On the other hand, maybe some of the finished goods which are being imported into the country needs to probably have higher duties in future. So I think there is the government has to role here to play to steer the competitiveness or manage the competitiveness of local manufacturing.